about. It's an exciting new streaming series that's based on the award-winning novel of the same name by John E. Stith. And Manhattan Transfer will tell the tale of a massive alien ship that abducts Manhattan. So that's not a good Tuesday for everybody. It literally rips it out of the ground and brings it on board their ship along with its nearly 2 million inhabitants. This show will not only chronicle the humans' attempts to communicate with the aliens and escape their prison, but will also tell multiple stories of what happens to extraordinary and everyday people when their society breaks down. I actually did read the book, and it's fantastic. So whenever this project was presented to me, I was so excited that this was going to get made because it does feel like a big epic sci-fi series. And now, Casper, Shaun, you two know each other, and correct me if I'm wrong, you've worked together before as well. How do you two know each other? How long have you guys been acquainted with each other?
Well, it's my wife. My wife and you are friends or have known each other for a long time, at least. Jennifer Wenger. When I first was dating her, she said to me, she goes, "Oh my God, I've got the perfect guy for you." To be,
That takes a turn.
I knew you guys were gonna. You
Wait a
guys,
minute, can your wife find someone for me too now?
she's like, "This guy, you guys will be best friends." And I'm like, "Oh, sure, yeah, this guy, he's got the hot." She goes, "No, he's married with kids, and we're just really good friends." And I'm like, she goes, "But you two would hit it off." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't need to be friends with your friend." Then he and I met, and we were inseparable ever since. Movies. And she was 100% right, as wives always are. So,
Yeah.
and she's a lot smarter than me. So but she knew. She just saw it, and she said, "You two would. I just know the guy that would be the perfect match for you." And she was 100% correct. He's somebody I love and adore. He's super talented, so much fun to work with. One of my favorite people I've ever gotten to work with, and I want him on everything I do. So I try to get him. I try to get him on everything. I really do, and I help. He's somebody that as a director, he's knowledgeable. He's over prepared. He has great insight. He takes he looks into things. He checks it out. He checks everything out, and his answers for you, and he can work with it. Because on the productions, there's always something that comes up. But he and I, we kind of like have a dialogue without even saying anything. It just seems to work.
And
So
when you're that close and working so close with someone, having that level of trust really can make all the difference. So I'm so excited to not only see what you two create together, but also get to work in the show with you as well. And
We're so excited to have you a part of
yeah,
this.
I mean, every time new information comes out about this, I get more and more excited. And Casper, you're actually playing the lead character, Matt. I know we can't really, talk about too much. We don't want to give too much about the show away, but can you tell us a little about your character of what you've read from
yeah,
the pilot so far? And
I hear he's super handsome, really
oh,
smart,
wait a minute, I didn't get this in the notes. Let me check.
funny guy.
I didn't want to tell you this, Casper. We're
He's
gonna
a
have to make you way
Capricorn.
uglier.
Likes walks on the beach. Oh man.
God, the guy is just like he redefined dad bod.
That's how I'm changing it. That's how I'm tweaking it.
Yeah, and
Got it.
and he does the Jasper shuffle like no one else,
Yeah,
except
yeah.
for Shaun
His
Piccinino, who does.
description basically becomes a Bumble profile.
I guess
Oh
Bumble's one of them
man.
dating apps, right?
Oh yeah. I think I'm sure. Yeah.
Too funny.
We're gonna all swipe right on Matt. Look at me making it hip and cool for the young viewers. Oh yeah, that's my job apparently.
It's just when I read it, I went, "This is awesome." I loved it. I loved the people involved. I saw that a good buddy of mine, Doug Jones, is in this, and I
Oh,
was like, "Oh,
Dougie,
I love
yes.
it." I know Walter. I've met Walter Koenig at different cons, and I just like
Mm,
that kind of atmosphere. I like Comic Cons a lot. They're my people. Those are the people that I relate to. I've
me
done
too.
stuff with them. I've done a con man series with Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
I've been going to cons for so long, and I love them. I've been going since Starship Troopers in 1997, and I went for Tarzan in '98, and then Sleepy Hollow in '99, and then so it's just on and on. So this this environment without giving too much about the script away, because you gave a
Mhm.
great description in what it is. This character being one of these people that is trapped uh, in this new world. I guess it's our world, but now in a spaceship, so it's totally new. And it was so attractive to me. This is just something it's my jam. So I was excited about it. I was excited about the opportunity, and I'm so thrilled that we were able to get Shaun on. When Sky, I said, Sky, do you have a director? He goes, no. And I go, this is one of those moments where I'm almost thinking about pitching myself as director. And then I
Right.
go, I have the perfect director, my buddy Shaun.
Oh.
I was like, I couldn't suggest anybody else. He's just who I thought was perfect for it. So
Well, speaking of Shaun, you actually have like three of Netflix's top movies that you've directed, and I would love to hear more about that and what you're going to bring in into this project, knowing your wealth of information of what you've done for different movies and different series on streaming services. What do you expect to for Manhattan Transfer?
Yeah, I've been very blessed to work with such amazing people and have had some success on Netflix as you pointed out, which was just awesome because again it was just movies we made with lots of love and passion and had no delusions of grandeur on any of them, even after the first one kind of did what it did, number one in the world way back in December of 2020. And we just kept trying to make movies with passion. Casper has been in at least one of my Netflix movies, right?
yeah, I
And
think
then we've
so.
done TV series together. We've done so much, and obviously that rapport he spoke of earlier. I think there's a reason. Obviously, Marty Scorsese wants to work with the same people.
Hmm.
Spielberg, you name it. It's because you build this bond, you build this level of trust, and you just enjoy creating together. And when people are enjoying the process, the creativity flows so much better. At least in my experience, like
Absolutely.
that's where kind of the magic happens, and it's like it's unexplainable. No matter what the content of the project is, when it's made with people that care and have passion and care for each other, I think that's the key ingredient. The results seem to kind of speak for themselves, and with this story science fiction. I'm just such a huge nerd with Star Trek, Star Wars. I like them all. I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
like one of those people who's like, I've got to be Star Wars only or no, it doesn't matter what it is. Starship Troopers, one of my
But
favorite
Star Trek's the
all
best. We
time.
can all agree. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I
If you're
am
gonna
with
have
you. I
Sophie's
am with you.
choice of Star Wars and Star Trek,
You've got to say that though too. I think you're under contract,
I
aren't
am
you?
in
No, I'm
Star
just...
Trek, so I think I'm contractedly,
Yeah.
obligated to
No.
tell
But
people.
I just love science fiction. So I get so excited whenever I get to be a part of anything that has to do with that. So, looking at this project and reading it and reading the book, the novel, reading the script, uh, it's one of those things that is at the core of any great story to me, and that's the
Mhm.
human story, right? That's the what and how do these people react to extreme situations? When this is like one of the most extreme situations you can imagine for us earthly folks, in
Absolutely.
this day and age. And you're going to see who comes together, who is, what happens during those fight or flight moments, what happens when self-preservation kicks in, and there's going to be uh, people coming together, and there's going to be people doing some not so great choices to try and save themselves, or how they view they're going to save themselves in some way. So I always find that journey, and with multiple characters, right? So we're going
Mhm.
to be, there's going to be so many interesting characters in this series that I think people really, really are going to, latch on and see these different takes and be able to relate to different folks. And so that's the part that's really exciting. And then, of course, it's set in this really interesting extraterrestrial, outer space, multiple, I don't know if we're supposed to say this, but multiple species of aliens. And, so it's just ripe for amazing, amazing science fiction storylines.
Absolutely. It's and going back to what you said about following the different characters, it's almost like a tapestry that of each character being a thread in a bigger story. Uh,
Yes.
and they always say like when society falls, that's when people's true colors will come through. And
Yeah.
taking, when you see other different shows or genres that kind of follow this, you know, society falling, you see, small communities and their stories, but this is a city of like 2 million people. I mean, this is
Yeah.
Manhattan. Like how,
Yeah.
I mean, what a tremendous take to try and show what chaos can unfold when an
Yeah.
entire city is basically abducted and becomes a
Yeah.
zoo,
Yeah.
which I love.
And the
Uh,
power vacuums and all of that stuff that's
exactly,
going to happen.
exactly.
And is it just mayhem? Is it just chaos? Do
Hmm.
people, like, how do they come out of that? I love all of those kinds of that kind of storytelling. Obviously there's everything from The Walking Dead
Hmm.
to I don't know what, but that's the most fascinating part to me
That
is
the Yeah.
how they how people will respond to these challenges.
And also that sometimes the true monsters can be the people, and not
Yeah,
the actual monsters. Yeah.
exactly. Which is, to me, that's the most fun about exploring a story like this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sometimes meaning always. Wait, what?
And Casper, I know that the show will heavily evolve around your character. And again, I don't want to give too much away about the plot and different things like that. And you mentioned earlier about, being a fan of sci-fi and conventions. I'm not sure if viewers have realized, but Manhattan Transfer is on IMDb with different cast shown attached already. And talk about a sci-fi like superstar cast. I mean, you have legends joining you, Casper. Like you mentioned earlier, Walter, Doug Jones. We have Tim Russ
I know. Ross, I
playing the
mean, how
mayor. We
awesome.
have, I mean, John Billingsley, Dominic Keaton. It is a star-studded cast of sci-fi legends, and
And we have people, and
Yeah,
all
legends,
are big,
icons.
big con people too. They're good at comic. And
exactly,
also we have
basically, we're our
people
own
who do
convention in
cos.
a series.
Yeah,
I
but we
love
also have
that.
people who cosplay, like my wife and you guys, you've done it, and Ashley, they've done
Yeah.
it. We have, I mean, it's really, and people have always said this. What do you think about the people that go to cons? I go, I think they're awesome.
Hmm.
I'm married to one, and I think it's just they're the best people because they love films and genres like this as much as I do, and that
Yes,
to me is infectious and makes something like that. It only can make it better. That's my
absolutely.
opinion.
And I feel like sci-fi fans are the best kind, because we're all striving for a future. When you look at different shows like Star Trek, we're all striving for a future where we're looking for that, you know exploration together and living in harmony with different species and whatnot. So I love that this show is going to incorporate so many people within the sci-fi fandoms. Casper, you included. My goodness, you're a legend, and with your career taking off with Stormship Troopers, like holy cow. The fact that we have all these people that do so many conventions that are so fan touched, fan based. I know that sounds, well, we're not gonna, you know what I mean. We won't go there, but everyone's so connected to the fandom and to the franchises that they're a part of, to take a new series like this and focus really on the aspect of how it's all these people having to work together to communicate with different species and different walks of life and with each other. I feel like it's going to just amplify the sci-fi genre for
Yeah,
sure. Um,
it's definitely it's such a great project. I'm so excited about it. So
it really is.
It-
It really is.
it's definitely going to be one of these projects too that is it's made for fans, made for this
Hmm.
audience, by fans, by people that really love and care for this genre and care about the people that have paved that way and like you said, looking to a brighter future.
Yeah,
Right.
I think we need to keep just trying to get more people that would be more, we have to have the like-minded people in the way that they love what this is. I'm not going any political things or anything like that. I'm talking about as far as for sci-fi and for what we're trying to do. This is definitely a family kind of it's my sci-fi family, it's my nerd family, it's my con
Hmm.
family, it's my geek family. It's what I love the most, and I'm thrilled to be around those kind of people. And I feel like if we get all these people involved, if more people get on board with it, it's just gonna just I think this could be huge. So
Absolutely. And I feel like if everyone just stayed nerdy, the world would be a better place. So I think we're
Yeah.
we're halfway there so far. Now, Shaun, as the director, you're going to be basically taking the helm and captaining the ship.
Yeah.
Describe what kind of vision that you have for Manhattan Transfer. Like what do you see like the tone of this? I mean,
Yeah.
you're in
It's
charge.
it's yeah, it is in a lot of ways a heavier, darker tone, and we
Hmm.
will be approaching it with a certain amount of grit. I always, no matter what it is that I'm working on, I approach it from uh, a more filmic style versus like necessarily you know like a you know uh, sitcom or something like this, right? I don't approach
Right.
it that way. And so there's going to be some really amazing action set pieces here. We've already engaging with some of the amazing stunt community that I have been so blessed to work with over the years, because I come from that world as well. I used to jump and fall down buildings and do all that fun stuff way back in the day.
Wow.
But So yes, approaching it, there is going to be a certain amount of grit to it, and more of that filmic style is the way we're going to shoot. I love combining old technology with new technology. So we will probably be on one of the newer, fancier cameras, either the Aries or the whatever the latest Reds. But I like to pair that stuff with vintage glass, right? So we'll probably be
Ooh.
using some kind of older anamorphic lenses to give us some of that, Spielberg and all of those kind of sci-fi looks.
Oh, I love that.
Ridley Scott, right? Like that kind of a vibe. It will be the approach. But there will be a certain amount of levity as well. I think it's always one of those things where if you're just tension, you're just drama, you don't get those moments of reprieve, you don't get those moments of levity to allow the audience to relax, then uh, the dramatic part of it isn't as impactful. So sometimes I also really enjoy setting the audience up with a certain amount of comedy or a certain amount of levity, and then you punch them in the gut with something really, that shakes it up.
Yeah,
So it's going to
I
have,
saw it.
yeah, yeah. It's going to have a very nice blend and mixture of all these elements. But with the Creator Sky, we talked about wanting to have that cinematic, that filmic, vibe to the project. So,
Absolutely. And this would be a great time to mention to you that I also do all my own stunts, like picking up small
ooh,
objects and opening back of ships. And so just keep that in mind when shooting that, like, oh,
okay,
what
all
can we
right,
have the character of Joy do? I'm definitely capable of walking up a flight of stairs.
oh,
But speaking of
nice.
stunts, Casper, your character, Matt, that just in the first episode alone, from reading the script, there is so much action happening with your character. How are you I know we don't really
am I
have like a
well in the head for
are
taking
you
it?
are you ready for this?
Yeah, it's often the thing is if people go, "Would you do that?" I go, "Hell no." They go on camera. Yes, I would. I do the dumbest thing on camera because I'm an actor. The stunts. Shaun and I have a great rapport, so he knows me. He understands what I can do and what I can't do.
Hmm.
And most of it is I'm so ego driven that I always try to do I can in any of it. I try to stay in shape. I'm working out every day, and I'm getting in better shape for this. I've been working out nonstop every day for the last
Awesome.
11 weeks, so that one's been good. So this is it's good. I love it. I'm always up for the physicality, being in one of the 20th Tarzan and being Johnny Rico. I always I had one film once where wasn't supposed to be so fit, and I had let it myself go a little bit, and this was years ago. And one of the kids, I took off a shirt, and one kid goes, "Oh, not Tarzan anymore." And I was like,
Ouch.
"Oh."
Ouch.
But he couldn't say that right now. So there we go. I mean, but you know, it's just like, but it was for a role. I'm an actor first, so
Exactly.
whatever happens, you know, I'm not a bodybuilder, but I will work out like a fiend for a project. I did for Shaun before. I also gained weight for a film for Shaun. I also, because I wanted to look like the guy, and so I've done.
Casper's so committed. He's always 100% professional. You know, yes, we have fun. Yes, we are going to enjoy our time on set, Bonnie. But we will also work hard. You know, that's what it comes down to, is we want to put the most into this project, make it the best possible. That's always my approach, but also to make it enjoyable. And Casper is so easy to work with, and so much fun, but he's super pro. But there is those situations where I have to be like, Casper, I can't have you jump off a 5-story building because I need you for the rest of the show, you know. But Casper would probably do it. That's the thing.
That's when I come in and go, I'll do it, and then I'll just fall off very gracefully.
I did in Nevis for a film we did. I did a 2-story fall backflip off of a balcony onto a thing, and they put a camera down there, and it was on the last shot last day, and the camera bounced.
Yeah, you saved it for the last shot.
It hit me. It bounced up and hit me in the face, and I broke 2 teeth. I didn't know, but 4 months later, I was in Thailand, and I cracked down on a salad, and I had to go to the dentist and get emergency root canal.
Man, that kale can be brutal, right?
So I do stupid things, and I'm gonna let when he says we're not having you do that 5-story fall, I probably won't do this one.
But I remember the shot on Starship Troopers you did, that everybody was super scared of you doing, jumping onto that big like beetle creature, whatever they were called. Some people don't know that Casper actually did that stunt. Even though he had some stunt guys. You had a double,
great
right?
Stunt guys. Yeah, I had the most stunt guys. But also, like, let's just say last year, Garrett Warren, my buddy Garrett Warren, who, you know, he does all this
legendary stunt coordinator and
does
director.
all Avatar, Lincoln, Logan, The Master. He like does all these. Yeah. He calls me up and he goes, Casper, I need you to come down to. Are you still in Florida? I go, yeah. He goes, I need you to get down here. I think it was in the Dominican. I went and filmed. I went and did utility stunt for the first time. I'm 55 now. I did utility stunt for Roadhouse. I'm in the background, Roadhouse, getting thrown over tables and throwing somebody over, hitting somebody with a chair, getting hit. I got thrown over a pool table 9 times. So, but it's in the background. You'll never even know it's me. You know, it's just me in the background. I just did it because I got COVID. And during COVID, he couldn't get him in from LA fast enough. So he's like, he knows me because I've fought with him and I've done a lot. And so I don't do stunts, but I did do stunts. First time in my career, I was utility stunt guy. No other credit.
That's only for Garrett Warren. That's only for Garrett
stunts. Warren. I'm just going to tell you right now, you do stunts. I can already tell.
Yeah, I'm a little bit insane.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what Shaun puts you through. This is actually
a lot of shuffling.
Oh, yeah. We have a question from chat, actually, from the YouTube chat. They want to know, are there a specific number of episodes already planned? And Shaun, that might be more of a question for you that you might be able to answer. Do you know how many episodes like season 1 is planning on having?
Yeah, there's discussions, you know, the kind of go-to streaming platform series now is 8 to 10. There could be a situation where you go 6 and you know, we put a little bit more resources into that. But yeah, currently it's still under discussion to tell the best version of the story. But most likely, go ahead.
Unless we get a great backer and we do 22 episodes like the old days.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back to the way TV used to be.
Yeah. But the discussions generally are around 10 episodes. But of course, multiple seasons are already planned. You know, this story is big. It will go beyond even the scope of the novel, working with the author himself, much like, you know, George R.R. Martin working with the Game of Thrones and that kind of stuff. So the plan is in place that hopefully, knock on wood, actually I have some wood right here, knock on wood, we get to continue telling this story beyond even the first season.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the novel itself just, I feel, starts what the story could be. I feel like it could even go
Right.
past, and
Right.
there's
Yeah.
also so many different, ways it can focus. You can spread it out so much. There's so many incredible characters that we can focus on throughout the entire series, which
Yeah.
again is going to be such a fun, I think, journey for the writers to play with.
Yeah. Yeah. And we really see that scope. And of course, having the original author on board and part of,
Absolutely.
that's so key. But yeah, for sure, the potential, the perspectives you can go into the different alien species, their perspective of the situations, and there's so
Mhm.
much you could do and play there that it's really exciting. I mean, really vast. This thing, it can expand exponentially, and of course, that's the dreams and hopes of anytime we're working on projects like this. Is I always dream big. I always think of the potential of how big it can go, limitlessly.
Absolutely. Casper, also, correct me if I'm wrong. I saw on IMDb your wife is actually also going to be in the film, correct? Or
Yeah,
in the show,
yeah.
correct?
Jenny and
That's fantastic. Oh my
you
gosh.
and Jenny know each other. Jennifer Wanger, you and her know each
Yeah,
other,
I know her, but it that's
but
what's
you
so
don't know.
bizarre.
Yeah, you guys have. I don't think you've worked together, but your paths
We've
have
definitely crossed
crossed.
paths. When I saw her, I was like, "Wait a minute." Yeah, it's wild.
She had really
Uh
nice things to say about you, and she said so. I was just
oh,
she's just the sweetest thing. She like always tries to get everybody. She's like the most nurturing person I've ever been around, and she's always trying to encourage everybody to be their best. So she's always just very enthusiastic. It's really nice to see.
that's
Oh,
so
we love
awesome.
Jenny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, also, my next question was, like, who's the most excited person that you're excited to work with on this project? But I already know your answer because it's going to be your wife. Because if not, you'll probably get in trouble.
I,
But
I love her to death. I love working with her. I'm so excited. And we got our friend Ashley in it. And we've got, Doug. Doug is somebody I've just been friends with Doug for forever. And we've just wanted to work on something together. And this is such a thrill. And he messaged me privately, goes, Casper, I can't believe you're on this. I'm so excited. And I'm like, oh my God, I love him.
I
It's
know
just
I'm
the
excited to
sweetest.
work with Doug too, just because he gives the best hugs. I feel like,
He is,
after
Oh,
a long day, we're just all gonna get in line for a Doug
yeah,
Jones hug.
he's like a hugging saint.
yeah.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
And what
super
about
talented.
what? Oh, so sorry. There's a delay. There's a delay on my end, so I apologize if I'm talking over
It's
anybody.
all good. All
Uh,
good.
the power of Zoom. Da-da. Technology today, I swear.
Technology.
And Shaun, as the director, obviously you're excited to work with Casper and me, of course. But looking at the cast list, who are you most excited? Is there a name that stands out that you're excited
Oh
to
man, it's
say what
that's
to do to
yeah,
them?
that would be hard to say because I'm just so excited to work with everybody involved. I mean, obviously Doug is I've never worked with Doug, but Casper and so many dear friends of mine have worked with him and just again nothing but amazing things to say. So our orbits have been circling for a couple of years, for sure. I have pitched Doug as well in projects that I've been doing. So yeah, I kind of feel like this is we finally get to do that. So I'm excited there. But of course, Walter, all those guys, Tim
Mhm.
Russ, I'm super excited to work with him
Oh yeah.
again. We've had some orbiting relationships, like people, friends that have all worked together, and it's like, oh, we're going to do something together. We're going to do something together, and now here it is. Here's the project that makes that happen. But yeah, I'm uh, every Star Trek alumni that is involved is just makes me super excited. That I'm like a little kid. I'm like, oh, I get
I
to work with
know.
it.
You
So
almost have
amazing. So
every show represented
yeah, yeah, it's
in
amazing,
this
right?
series. It's wild.
The original series, we got Enterprise, we've got obviously
Voyager.
Discovery and
Yeah.
Voyager. I mean, this is super
Prodigy.
cool.
Yeah, you got it
Prodigy,
all.
like come on,
It's
come
like
on,
we're like
yes.
Pokemon. You're just collecting the whole set. It's great. Just put us in a ball and
Maybe
keep
that's
us
what we
on your
need to do.
shelf.
We got to get someone
Yeah.
from every single show. What are
I
we
think
missing? Are we missing Next
I,
Generation?
I think we're
And
I think we're gonna make that happen. I'm pretty sure. There's
yeah,
enough episodes to where you can start collecting the whole
yeah, yeah.
set.
Well, that's true. And as the series progresses, there's going to be so
Hmm.
many amazing casting opportunities. Um, you know, it's gonna be so much fun.
Absolutely. Just a fair warning. I co-host the Trek Talks charity event every year with Billingsley, and
Oh.
you might want to make sure none of our scenes are together at any time because he and we get into a lot of trouble anytime we're at a con together or an event. John Billingsley and he's just such a character in himself that with the two of us together, things tend to go awry. I'm just warning you now that we're getting it on video, so you can say whenever it does
Or
happen.
I might try and harness that. That's
I
that's
don't
what I
know.
might
Whenever it
do.
does happen, just make
Hmm.
sure to we can play this back, and I'll say I tried to warn you, Shaun. I tried. I tried.
Noted. It's noted. I got it.
Ooh, this is actually a really good question from the chat as well. They're wanting to know with Doug Jones's character, will he be a creature or will we actually finally get to see his face? Mm.
Yeah, really cool. I
That's
don't
a
know if I
great
can spoil
question.
that.
I don't know
I
if we
don't know
can
if I
spoil
can
that. I
spoil
mean,
that.
here's the
I
thing.
would
If
like,
you go
here's what
look
I'll
at
say.
IMDb, it says his character name. And then
There
if
you
you read
go.
the
There you
book,
go.
you might be able
Yeah.
to honestly, I think
Ah,
someone might be
detective.
able to Sherlock Holmes or Nancy Drew this pretty
Detective
quickly.
work.
Oh
Here's what
yeah.
I would say is I would love I just as a fan, I'd love to see his face. Even though his creature work is so amazing.
Hmm.
I would be very stoked. But yeah, I don't know if we should let people go discover that for themselves. I won't say
But
for
I think
sure.
Right.
since it's a
I think so.
series, he could probably do both.
Oh, that's true.
Ooh.
Look at you.
Just saying,
Mm,
if
I'm
he
just
does play a creature, he could also probably play a human, and we might not know that he is both.
yeah, vice versa. I like
well, if we're
it.
going that route, I feel like we need to get Jeffrey Combs in and all this and have him just play
Yeah.
the entire city of Manhattan, and we just won't even know. Be like, wow, that guy with the newspaper looks very familiar. Didn't we just see him as the plumber? Yeah. Uh, but speaking of the entire city of Manhattan and New York City and whatnot, being abducted, have you two ever been to? I mean, I'm sure you've been, but have you guys have ever, explored the city? What's some of the fondest, strongest memories you have of Manhattan, New York City?
Well, I grew up in New Jersey, in Ridgewood,
Oh,
New Jersey, right outside the city. So I was in the city all the time, and I also lived in New York for a little while, on Broadway. So yeah, I love New York. I think it's just fast moving. It's exciting. I hope we get to film some there too. That would be fun. I don't.
Oh, yes.
It
Yeah.
would be a
mm-hmm.
blast to shoot there. I have shot in New York before too, but I grew up there, so yeah, I'm a Yankee fan. They actually play in New Jersey. And I'm also a Giants fan. Oh shit, they actually play in New Jersey. But I'm just saying. But I grew up there. So yeah, I love New York. I love New York City. I love Manhattan, and I'm so glad that we're spreading the news.
Absolutely. Start spreading the news.
The
Hey, I see what you did there.
news.
Maybe not intentionally, but what about you,
No,
Shaun? What
he
are some
did.
of your
He did
fondest
it
memories of the
intentionally.
city?
He definitely did that intentionally. Just so you know, that's Casper.
Good, good.
Casper's also the king of the dad jokes, by the way. So just get ready. Get
Oh,
ready for the dad jokes because they're
I can't
coming.
wait. I'm a big fan of dad jokes.
Oh,
The
outstanding. That's great.
broniest, the better.
Oh
If I
yeah.
can have a
That's Casper.
bruise by the end of the
I
day of
know.
a face
I
palm
know.
right there.
I know
Hey,
Jenny's
how do you
rolling
know
her
when
eyes.
how do you know when a scarecrow is really good at its job?
He's outstanding in his field.
Yeah, oh, she knows that
Yeah.
one.
Oh
Very
no,
good.
when I
I didn't
say
know
I
that
love
one.
dad jokes. I love
Very
dad.
good.
One of
Outstanding
my
in the field.
favorite one is what did the janitor say when he jumped out of his closet? Supplies.
Great. That's good. That's a good one.
So bad.
It's not.
So
It's
bad.
terrible. Quick, jot these down. We can definitely add them to the script. It's going to be great.
They'll be there.
They'll just be a random alien on the side of the street giving out jokes.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh my
We're in
goodness.
store for a lot of those. Don't worry. Between the two of you, now I know. Now we've got another
Oh, it's
dad joke.
bad.
No, it's bad.
I'm also
we're
the
just
queen
gonna.
of innuendos without realizing it. So if I say something inappropriate, we'll, hopefully we'll be able to fix it in post and just be like, whoops, we're going to just cut that out of there. Bonnie didn't intentionally mean to.
I'm the king of saying things inappropriately, but they're all intentional.
Ah, I see. Well, it's all about the intention. Oh, sorry, son. We definitely went on a segue there.
Yes. Oh, New York. I adore New York. I have not gotten to shoot there, although I have really pushed several times to try and get to shoot out there. I do have a feature film set in Brooklyn. So when that goes, I'll shoot in Brooklyn, which would be super cool. But for this, hopefully we get to go out and actually shoot some stuff in Manhattan as well. But yeah, favorite parts, I don't know. That's difficult to pinpoint. I always like going to Little Italy, for some good food, and Chinatown for some amazing dim sum. I'm very food driven, I
now
guess.
We're all just hungry. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see, I ate before because I knew I'd be doing this with Shaun, and I know we'd talk about food because that's that.
Yeah. It's the Italian thing, I guess.
A morsel that I can, nibble on while we continue this conversation. Like, oh, if only I had lasagna.
Yeah.
Yes, I also enjoy food anywhere, New York and everywhere else. So I actually come from a theater background, musical theater background, and what I'm most excited to see, which, again, I don't know if we'll ever even touch on this on the show, what's going to happen to Broadway when Manhattan is abducted. My God, the chorus line of dancers that are going to be, wandering the streets doing pas de bourrées and jazz squares on the corner. What's going to happen, Shaun?
The show must go on. I love that you came up through the theater. I also came up through the theater and even musical theater. My father was a drama professor at a university up in Northern California. He's now retired. But he directed, he created the whole drama department for that college. But he directed 2 plays a year, produced Shakespeare in the Park. He is like a Shakespeare historian. So I absolutely loved, I don't know any different, but I absolutely loved growing up in the theater. I was on stage at 8. I was helping build sets by 10. It was just, I just loved everything about it. I loved that sense of community. That's probably why I look to help and try and create that when we're filming. Yeah, I love that. I love that you came up through theater.
So what you're saying, Shaun, is that Manhattan Transfer will have a musical episode. Right? I think that would be amazing. Casper,
that would be amazing.
Start doing your vocal warm-ups now. I know you do your own stunts, but you're gonna have a really romantic ballad later in the show.
If we have singing in there, it'll definitely be a stunt.
Oh, no, that's where we bring the stunt doubles in. Got it.
Actually, I've sung in 9 different movies that I've been in, and they've never been dubbed.
Oh, good.
Hey.
Oh, that's fantastic. There you
and
go.
I sing in my church choir, but my wife's the real singer. So
yes.
Jenny can
well, that's
sing.
what I'm saying. You have a very musical cast of people. Don't, well, I will say this, Shaun, do not let John Billingsley sing. It's not a good idea. But you do have a lot of musical talent in this cast.
Well, that's a tradition with a lot of this cast too, it seems.
I feel like we need a musical episode, and I know for a fact Sky's behind the scenes probably throwing things at the screen at me. But I'm here to talk about what I want in this project, Dag Nabbit, and I want a power ballad, and you're gonna give it to me. I'm telling you though, if you're doing any type of show or story that revolves around New York City and Manhattan, like theater is such a big part of that city and that culture,
Yeah, yeah,
where,
it really is.
and here's, here, this leads me to my next question. Like, if New York City was indeed abducted by aliens, the entire city, what do you think would be the biggest challenge that New Yorkers would face? And of course, for me, it would be Broadway going down, because I'd be like, I can't take this. Without the theater, there's nothing to live for.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a little over
I mean,
dramatic when it comes to my music. But no,
does the subway
obviously
system still work?
I'm just
Like, that's
kidding.
what
I'm just kidding. But some of the biggest challenges that the citizens would face, I mean, it would go with any city, but I feel like New York City in general, I mean, it's so massive, and you have so many, it's a melting pot of cultures and different types of people. What are some of the challenges that you would think would face if a city was of that size was actually abducted by aliens?
Yeah, well, obviously there's finite resources, right?
Hmm.
A power vacuum, like
Well, yeah.
NYPD, like, obviously everything. Anybody have jobs? Does the subway system still work? Like, like,
Cash still get collected.
yeah,
Where does that go?
It's a full like societal breakdown.
Mhm.
So I think that just in general, that's the challenge. It's like a post-apocalyptic event, but obviously in outer space and with some new overlords. So yeah, I mean, the biggest challenge is, what do the people do as a whole? Like, are they trying to escape? Like, what is it that if you found yourself in that situation, those are the questions we're excited to explore and to put on screen.
And what are
What
the
about
aliens
you?
doing? Why do they abducted? Could they be supplying a power source for us? Could there be a way of an energy and food supply and a waste system? I mean, there's all these things that go along with it. I mean,
Hmm.
but all those will have to be addressed in throughout the series. But it's all fascinating to me.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, when you think of something of that multitude happening to that many people, I mean, with everything from food supply, power supply, who's running this? And I feel like we take for granted so much of what we have today when it comes to communication and technology, when it comes to, instant, ordering something from Amazon and you get it like the next day.
Does Uber Eats
What
still
happens
work?
when the entire city is now you no longer have, the internet or any type of way of communicating with someone 10 blocks away, and you lose, we lose
That's the biggest
ourselves as a
challenge.
society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the biggest challenge is?
Hmm.
The cell phones no longer work. People can't rely on their cell phones.
Look what happened last week when Facebook and Instagram went down for like 3 hours. It
Yeah.
was like the end of the world. People were freaking out. And I was just like, everyone needs to calm down. You don't need to post a picture of your ice cream today. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild to me. So
But
I
feel
wanted
like,
to post that
we'll
picture
also
of
have
mine.
this. Go ahead.
pardon?
No,
I
go
missed that,
ahead.
Casper. What would you say?
We'll also have this. I mean, in New York City, when it gets abducted, when Manhattan gets taken, most of the people that come into Manhattan that work there don't live there. So when
They
it's
don't even live there.
abducted,
Yep.
Right?
so there's the living rooms, living spaces,
Yeah,
and
separation from
water.
their family. Yeah.
The water's still
Yeah.
going
Being separated. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of issues, things that we have to discuss, and I'm sure the aliens will probably want to maintain some sort of semblance of normality for us, and so I would imagine that would be the case. It would also
Hmm.
make it a little bit easier in some aspects, maybe harder in others. But
Hmm.
I mean, it all depends on Sky and Shaun Piccinino there, our
Hmm.
director
Hmm.
and our
The
producer.
brains behind the operation.
Yeah, that's why I
Um,
called him in. I was like, "That's it. Get some brains."
as long as there's still cheese plates, I think I'll be okay. But again, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
How many cows are in Manhattan?
we had a comment from a YouTuber in the chat, saying, would they still be able to have the St. Patrick's Day parade if they were abducted by aliens? Now that is a
That
very
would
good
never go
question.
away.
I have a feeling people would still be celebrating in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Irish,
But
we're crazy like that.
yeah, we'd find one of the wonderful things about, if you look throughout history, when anything obviously anything like this happens. We haven't had a city abducted by aliens yet.
That we know of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Atlantis, where did it go?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Look, I'm already being my character with the conspiracy theories and the
Hey, ancient alien
I'm already-
theorists
yeah.
say
yes.
I need to just lift my hair up a little bit crazier and be like, aliens.
I like that hairdo. That was cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I'm gonna work on that. We'll workshop it. Well, yeah. Put some crazy, wacky colors in it, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
But I feel like, whenever humanity is at their lowest and we're put to the test, again, like we were talking earlier, it's when you see the true colors of people come through. And yes, some people can be terrible and they become the true monsters, but it's also when we see the brightest lights shine, and like the most average, normal, everyday person can become the hero of a story because of just being a helper and putting that hand out to someone in need when things are at its lowest. So if you look throughout history, when countries have gone like to war and different natural disasters, it's that level of, reading the book and seeing what some people were going through in the novel. Obviously it's extremely different, but I'm from Louisiana originally and lived through Katrina and saw firsthand how a city completely isolated from the rest of the world, you're seeing footage of this and you're like, this can't be New Orleans. Like, this is unbelievable. What is happening? These are people I know, like on their roof, trying to get rescued. It's that level of, you see the best of humanity and the worst of humanity. But going back to the St. Patrick's Day parade, they 100% would find a way to still celebrate. There would still be music. There would still be art. There would still be some way to get wasted, because we as humanity, that's what makes us different from, other animals and mammals. It's that we have the art, we have that different type of expression. That was a weird segue to go into that.
No, it makes total sense though. Yeah. It's who's going to rise up, and also those are, a lot of that would be coping mechanisms. Like, let's still, have the band play. Let's still, because you would also, the show must go
so
on.
You're
That's very New York.
To be a musical episode, Shaun. This is what I'm hearing again.
But you know what it is if one thing that all sci-fi series, shows, movies have taught us is that the greatest superpower, the greatest strength that we have is our human kindness.
Mm-hmm.
It's when we go to this, when you were talking about that, we see the true colors of people, but when people step forth with their kindness, a kindness can lift anybody up. It can help. It can strengthen something. It can bring us to a place where we can know we can get through something. And it's just that encouragement that we can do for each other, that gift that we do. And that's one of the greatest gifts that Star Trek gave us, and Star Wars, the hope, everything that these movies have done. This is the inspiration. And that's why sci-fi is so fascinating. And that's why it's been so, there's such a great love and such a huge fan base for it, because it does encourage us to be our best selves, and it encourages scientists, creates great thinking, it creates minds, it creates more shows, more ideas, and it's how we improve ourselves. It's through ours, through our brain, and through the biggest thing that we have, which is human kindness.
Help me, Casper Van Dien, you're my only hope.
I think it's also a powerful survival tool.
Mm-hmm.
A positivity. If you can look at that, I've over the last couple of years dove deep into all the survival shows, like the Alone, and of course there's Naked and Afraid and all that stuff. But the number one tool is people staying positive. That's how you survive in extreme situations. And so kindness and being positive, and we're going to get through this kind of attitude is how you can survive the most extreme and difficult situations. So that will definitely be explored.
Never give up, never surrender.
Yeah. We have another question from the YouTube chat. I know we only have about 10 minutes left, so I want to make sure I get all these in. The question is, any challenge that you're excited to take on and something that something possibly that you've never done before with this project? And this goes for both of you. Is there anything about this project in particular that it's something that you've never done before that you're looking forward, like a challenge that you're looking to take on? Obviously, you might not be able to say too much because it might give something away, but again, we've already given away that there's a musical episode. I'm just kidding. First of all, for anyone watching, I'm please know that I'm kidding, but
You are. I don't think you're kidding.
I don't think it's gonna work, but
I don't
I'll
think
make
there's
it
one I
happen.
owe it. You never know. There could be. I mean, song sometimes is another way of people coping through something. So sometimes a
Exactly.
song could be a way, and
Music in general, yeah, could definitely play a part.
I mean,
Casper, do you want
Man
to go
Transfer is a
first?
great band.
Yeah, Casper, any challenges you're looking forward to or you haven't done? I don't know if there's anything you haven't done in this business.
I haven't done this series yet.
This too.
There is that. And I haven't been abducted and taken to space that way. Other ways maybe. I'm really excited about the opportunities with this to get a series, to get it going, get it up and running. I think that we have a lot of potential here. And I think that Shaun and I did a series before, and I think we get this way feels like a little bit, this is like a step up for us in a way. And I think this could be even something greater. And we were a #1 show on Crackle and Popcorn Flicks for them. They're great people, love them and everything like that. But they're the ones that got it after the producers made it. This one, I think we have a potential to do better. So and to take it further, and creating a family environment is behind the scenes is what I'm talking about. The show itself is what it is and what it's going to be. It's sci-fi and it's going to be gritty and all this, but the family environment back where we're all supporting each other, encouraging each other, and being there as a team, because it's collective creativeness. That Stanislavski said that best for actors. Everybody's got to do their part. Everybody's got to work in there, and that goes to all the crew, all the production, everybody. So the challenge is always that. It's always striving to work together, everybody doing their part, and being a great team player, and not having anybody, throw like a wrench in the spoke. We don't need anything like that. So we got to be a team, and that's it. And I think so far from what I've seen, it looks like we've got all the aces in our hand. So.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, and
I like it.
I think for myself as well, every project are always trying to elevate, right? We're trying to progress. We're trying to do better than we've ever done before. So that's always the challenge that I set for myself. Personally, I'm always like, okay, how can we one up this? Working with the DP like Brad Rushing, we're like, what new tricks and lighting and cameras and all of this stuff. What can we do that's really going to be visually interesting and story driven? And so I'm always looking at that stuff. But this one has the potential for some really new and exciting visual effects challenges. There's now new technology out there. We've got LED sound stages. We've got all of these things that might come into play as we're creating this series. And so I actually also come from a visual effects background and have had the opportunity to work on some pretty big visual effects projects. But I think this one is the most unique in that department because of literally taking entire Manhattan, literally ripping through the ground and lifting this city up and taking it to outer space. That's a visual effects challenge I have never faced. So it will be really, really interesting. And, Sky and I have been talking at length about how to accomplish some of these things, and a really amazing VFX team that he's already been assembling. And so, yeah, I think the visual effects in general will be a really, really big and exciting challenge. I'm always excited about those challenges, not like, it's not, I don't get worried about it. Like if you look at, some inspirations like Peter Jackson and the challenges they had on the original Lord of the Rings series. And it was
Baggins
never
in the house. Yeah.
even though they face these insurmountable, in some cases, challenges visually, um, Peter Jackson and his team were never. It was never, we can't do this, or we're going to give up. Or if you look even at like the Balrog today, uh, look at that character. It's so advanced, even for how long ago that was made. But again, they approached every one of those scenes, like even the fire around the Balrog. They didn't have the technology we have, so they had to basically use these sprites that are generating images at a certain rate. But the way that they were able to make that smoke and fire dance and move organically, it's like mind blowing. But they didn't let those challenges stop them. They just went, nope, we're going to bowl forward. We're going to figure out how to make this work. And it's that kind of attitude. And so that always inspires me. And these visual challenges that we'll have on this project, it just inspired me to want to figure it out.
See, Bonnie, isn't he the right director for this?
Absolutely. I'm so excited to see. Well, and that's what I love about, Shaun, looking at some of your, past work and whatnot. I feel like you find a way to bring the vision to life, and this show is going to be so epic. I can't wait to see how you creatively like come up with solutions and figure out a way to make it like visually stunning, and yet keep the heart of it, because that's what I feel a lot of big projects with a lot of special effects lose. You lose that heart behind it when it just becomes all a special effect. So I feel like you're the perfect director for this, to find that balance. But
it's a human story, 100%.
A vision to life. This leads me to the end of our discussion, but everyone who's watching, we need you to help us bring this series to life. Now we have investors and equity funding lined up, but we're also raising additional funds for this series on BackerKit. So there's a link in the description where you can sign up and get all kinds of project news. Whoa, we're not going to see there's that window again.
Don will do anything for this product.
Casper, start posing. We're going to get project news and updates, and you can follow all of the updates for this project below. The campaign is going to start April 3rd, and we would like all of you, the fans of this project and anything sci-fi, for us to help us get abducted and get it on the ground floor of our project to help us make this next great sci-fi series.
And I think it's also a great way for them to be involved on some level.
What I love about a lot of indie projects that the fans help create, they become a part of the project in itself. And and you look at any project, I did a solo album that was completely backed by fans and Kickstarter.
And I love that.
And that's what made me want to put so much heart into it. And I feel like the cast that you have, because we're so fan based, convention based, we are in it with the fans, and we want them to be a part of this. We want you to know what we're doing. We want you to see the behind the scenes stuff. And we're just as excited about the series as you are. So help us make it. Help us make it. We're ready.
Yes, and they get so excited. The sci-fi fan base who you were talking about earlier, they're so excited, and this is totally their jam. So
this is up their alley, 100%.
If they get involved with this and they're like going and they want to be, I don't know, for however they're donating, I don't know what their things are, but they can get involvement in it, and I'm sure if they put enough in, they'll get credits and producer things or whatever else they want. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it works either. Promises I don't know anything, but I know that there's ways you can get involved, and this would be a great one to do it. So
absolutely.
And again, like I was saying earlier, this is truly a project that is made for fans, but by fans.
Exactly. We're all nerds
myself,
too.
such big fans of this genre, of these people involved, of these amazingly talented sci-fi alumni, like I said, in both of you and everybody else that is attached so far. We're also fans, so that is the amazing part about this project.
Real quick, we only have a few minutes left before we sign off. Casper, Shaun, can you let all the viewers know where they can find you, especially if they want to keep getting updates about this project. Where on social media they can find you, what projects you have coming up, and the best way to keep an eye
Instagram for
on all of
me.
your
Yeah.
future goodies.
Instagram mainly for
Instagram
me.
is, yeah, that's the easiest way to find us. I'm Director Shaun. My first name is Shaun. So if you look up Director Shaun Piccinino, you'll find me, but just Director Shaun. And then Casper Van Dien, just punch in his name, you'll find him.
Yeah, he's quite Googleable.
Yeah,
And then,
very.
and if you just search me at Bonnie Bell G or Bonnie Gordon, you'll find me as well. So yeah, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We're hoping to get Manhattan Transfer off the ground very soon, and we have an
Yay.
incredible team. As you can see, we have an incredible lead star, we have an incredible director, and we have an incredible me.
Yes.
And we're so excited to be a part of this. And thank you all for tuning in and watching. I'm Bonnie Gordon, and this has been whatever this is, the live stream of epicness.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye.